Welcome to This Explainer. We usually think of winning as just being the first person to cross a finish line, right? Well, today we're unpacking a modern fable about the Greenfield Unity Marathon that completely flips this idea on its head. It explores a concept that applies to literally every area of our lives, what it truly means to win.
So, before we even meet our runners, I want you to ask yourself a pretty tough question. What actually happens if you win the race but completely lose your character along the way? It's a powerful thought, because today's story is going to test exactly where that line between success and integrity is drawn. We're going to dig into the mechanics of motivation, the intense temptation of taking a shortcut, and the ultimate heavy cost of a dishonest victory.
All right, let's get right into it and meet our two main guys, Rohan and Vivek. They're childhood friends who've grown up running together, through village roads, school playgrounds, college tracks, the whole shebang. But as they start preparing for the massive Greenfield Unity Marathon, we're going to see that their internal engines are running on completely different fuel.
Looking at these two really highlights the core contrast in how motivation works. Rohan is absolutely driven by extrinsic validation. He craves that applause. He's dreaming of standing on the winner's podium, hearing the crowd chant his name. Now, contrast that with Vivek. Vivek is driven by intrinsic growth. He simply loves the act of running itself. For him, this marathon isn't about the crowd at all. It's just a chance to become better than he was yesterday.
And that mindset, it directly dictates how they prepare. 3 months out from the marathon, the grueling training begins. Every single morning, way before the sun even comes up, Vivek is out there on the road. He's pushing through pouring rain, unbearable summer heat. And whenever his muscles are just burning and he wants to quit, he falls back on this one simple mantra. A strong finish begins with an honest effort. He completely relies on the integrity of the process.
Now look at Rohan. His preparation is a totally different story. While Vivek embraces those painful, dark mornings, Rohan's training is entirely performative. He's buying the expensive running shoes and the flashy branded smartwatches. He's posting all these motivational quotes on social media. But here's the kicker. He only really trains when the cameras are on. Everyone thinks he's working the hardest, but behind that social media facade, Rohan is secretly haunted by a deep, paralyzing fear of losing.
Fast forward to race day, and it kicks off with pure adrenaline. Thousands of people are surging forward, music is blasting, crowds are cheering. It's electric. The first few kilometers are always a bit deceptive, right? The pace feels easy, everyone's packed together. But then, the harsh reality check sets in. The sun gets hotter, your legs start to feel like lead, and the intense physical toll of the marathon basically separates the prepared from the pretenders.
As that struggle really sets in, the difference in their training becomes painfully obvious. Vivek just falls back on his honest preparation. He keeps a steady pace, remembers to breathe, stays calm, and takes it one step at a time. Rohan, on the other hand, hits an absolute wall. His breathing gets ragged, his legs start cramping severely, and this terrifying truth suddenly dawns on him. His superficial preparation just isn't enough, and there is no way he's winning this race honestly. This brings Rohan to a massive critical moment of weakness. While he's struggling, he comes up on this quiet, heavily wooded section of the course. He notices a narrow park pathway that cuts straight through to the road several kilometers ahead. No volunteers, no spectators, no cameras. Rohan stops, he looks around, and then he whispers these 4 incredibly dangerous words, just this once. Yielding totally to his fear of losing, he takes the shortcut. By taking that hidden path, Rohan literally skips nearly 4 entire kilometers of the marathon. When he finally pops back out onto the main course, he's suddenly running right alongside the leaders, looking remarkably fresh. The crowd goes absolutely wild. Even Vivek, who's been grinding out this grueling, steady race, spots Rohan and thinks, how did he get so far ahead? But true to his character, Vivek just keeps his head down and keeps running. Unbelievably, Rohan crosses the finish line first. The announcer declares him the champion. He gets exactly what he wanted. The gold medal around his neck, the flashing cameras, the selfies, all that superficial glory. He's smiling proudly for the crowds, but there's a really telling detail beneath all of this. When a genuinely exhausted Vivek crosses the finish line and goes to congratulate him, Rohan literally cannot meet his eyes. That heavy guilt reveals what this really is, a total illusion of victory.
And that illusion? It doesn't last long. Just as the award ceremony is gearing up, the organizers' smiles suddenly vanish. A race official hurries up to the stage and interrupts the whole thing. The giant stadium screen behind them abruptly switches from these fun celebration graphics straight to the official marathon GPS tracking system. Remember, every single runner was wearing a microchip. The entire stadium goes dead silent as the map starts displaying the exact route taken by every participant.
The truth is baked right into the data. While Rohan logged the start line and he logged the finish line, there is a glaring, massive 4-kilometer gap missing right in the middle of his race. His tracking path simply vanishes from the course and then magically reappears miles ahead. Technology leaves absolutely zero room for debate here. His cheat is exposed, mathematically, to the entire stadium.
The chief organizer steps up to the mic, and man, it's a devastating blow. Stripping Rohan of his medal, he declares that the marathon is about endurance and honesty, and that while Rohan crossed first, he didn't actually complete the race. The title is withdrawn. The applause immediately morphs into this crushing wave of disappointment from the crowd. But then, the organizer calls Vivek's name. Crowned the true winner, Vivek receives a massive standing ovation. And that applause isn't just because he won, it's born out of pure, undeniable respect.
The fallout is just stark. Stripped of his fake win, Rohan is left completely alone on a bench. Those expensive shoes he bought for Instagram, now they're just covered in dust. His pride is entirely gone. But here is where our explainer shifts from a lesson about cheating into a profound lesson about grace. Vivek doesn't mock him, he doesn't judge. He quietly walks over and sits beside his broken friend. Utterly defeated, Rohan turns to him, asking how Vivek can possibly still be kind to him after what he did.
Vivek's response here is just a masterclass in empathy. He tells Rohan, because today you lost a race, but if you learn from it, you won't lose your character. Instead of condemning the failure, he throws Rohan a lifeline. He shows him that while the race is lost, the journey of building true character is still entirely within his grasp. He just has to choose to do the hard work.
Let's fast forward a year. The Greenfield Unity Marathon is back, and so is Rohan. But the transformation is unbelievable. The guy who was fueled by shortcuts, pretending for the cameras, and making excuses, he's gone. In his place is someone who has spent the entire year training with absolute, quiet integrity. Every morning, every evening, no social media facades. And when the starting gun fires this time, he runs every single agonizing kilometer.
So, the big question, how does he do? Well, he doesn't finish first. He actually comes in 5th place. But as he crosses that line, Rohan smiles wider than he ever has in his entire life. Because this time, every single step of those 42 kilometers belonged to him. He didn't steal a single inch. For the first time, he actually felt like a true winner.
This all story completely redefines what it means to win. A dishonest victory? It only brings temporary applause, and as we saw, that can vanish in an instant when the truth comes out. True success is measured entirely by the integrity of the journey. It's understanding that an honest defeat, one that builds lasting, unbreakable character, is infinitely more valuable than some hollow, stolen win.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with something to chew on for your own life. Whether we're talking about your career, your personal goals, your relationships, which path are you truly running? Are you chasing the temporary applause of a shortcut, or are you putting in the quiet, honest miles? Keep striving for that honest finish. Thanks for joining me today.